Today, I'll share some simple thoughts about topics related to Buddhism. Everyone should know that we have wonderful opportunities right now. What kind of opportunities? We are fortunate to be born in Jambudvipa, which is an extremely difficult place to be reborn into. Jambudvipa has all the perfect conditions for spiritual practice, while other worldly realms like Purvavideha, Aparagodanya, and Uttarakuru, although they have abundant resources and complete happiness, don't have the conditions for practicing the true Dharma. So you should know that Jambudvipa is superior to other continents. Obtaining a precious human body in Jambudvipa is also extremely rare. If we were born in hell as hungry ghosts, animals, or asuras, the suffering in these places is unbearable, and there is no opportunity to practice Buddhism. It's particularly pitiful. If we were born in the heavenly realms, although they have extremely rare wonderful happiness, they remain constantly scattered and careless for long periods, and also have no conditions to practice the true Dharma. Not only that, but the teachings that Buddha transmitted, the Shravakayana, Bodhisattvayana, and Vajrayana, all depend on having a human body to achieve accomplishment. Other beings like Devas, relying on their own physical forms, cannot achieve a complete path and have no opportunity for practice. So the human body is extremely precious. What Buddha and all his followers specifically praised as superior to the celestial body is this precious human form. Now we have all obtained such a human body, so we should generate tremendous joy. Buddha's coming to this world is also extremely rare. The eon when Buddha appears in the world is called a bright kalpa, and eons when Buddha doesn't manifest in the world are called dark kalpas. Among these, dark kalpas appear repeatedly many times, while bright kalpas, like this Bhadrakalpa when Shakyamuni Buddha appeared, only occur occasionally, so they're very rare. The reason Buddha doesn't appear is because it's very difficult for beings to have good conditions and opportunities to practice the Dharma. Now, not only has Buddha appeared in the world and turned the wheel of Dharma 3 times in sequence, but the light of the true Dharma hasn't disappeared and still exists in the world. This is also extremely rare. With very wonderful conditions, this is something very joyful. Even though Buddha has already proclaimed the true Dharma and the Dharma remains in the world, to obtain the essence of the Dharma, you must still encounter a guru and a spiritual friend. If you don't meet a teacher relying on your own strength, there is no way to study all the Buddhist teachings. So being accepted by a guru and a spiritual friend and properly practicing the Buddha's teachings that the guru explains is even more rare. Now, all these favorable conditions are complete for us. We've been born in the difficult to reach Jambudvipa. The Buddha, who rarely appears, has already appeared. The Dharma that's difficult to proclaim has also been proclaimed. Not only was the wonderful Dharma taught, but Buddhism hasn't disappeared even today and still remains in the world. Moreover, we've met a guru who can teach the true Dharma. Not only have we met a guru, but the guru is still teaching and explaining the Dharma. Such wonderful opportunities are rarer than a flash in the pan. We should feel happy. From an external perspective, all favorable conditions are complete. From our own side, perfect faith is indispensable. What is faith? It can be divided into 3 types: clear faith, devoted faith, and confident faith. Among these, what arises in relation to the Buddha jewel is clear faith. What arises in relation to the Dharma jewel is devoted faith. What arises in relation to the Sangha jewel is confident faith. Generating uncommon joy toward Buddha can be called clear faith. The reason we need to generate joy toward Buddha is because in this world, beings like Maheshvara, Indra, and Brahma have appeared before, but Buddha is different from any of them. Buddha possesses incomparable qualities. What qualities does Buddha have that are completely different from theirs? Even Even one quality of Buddha couldn't be fully described by first Bhumi Bodhisattvas in hundreds of thousands of years, let alone Buddha's complete qualities. Generally speaking, Buddha has limitless qualities. Even if we can't know them all, we must know the crucial qualities we urgently need. What are the qualities we urgently need? They are knowing the skillful methods for temporarily obtaining human and celestial happiness and ultimately achieving unsurpassed Buddhahood. Although Buddha has limitless qualities, if they don't benefit us, we have no need to generate joy toward him. Just like in this world, there are many powerful kings, but if they don't benefit the people, why should anyone like them? Any king will only be liked by the people if he brings them happiness. So Buddha's qualities must be ones that can benefit us. This point must be understood. So what are the Buddha qualities we urgently need? They are the three qualities of wisdom, compassion, and power. If Buddha didn't know the methods for countless beings to obtain happiness and be free from suffering, he couldn't possibly benefit beings. But in fact, Buddha completely knows all knowable phenomena without remainder. Although Buddha has endless wisdom, if he had no compassion, he wouldn't benefit his disciples either. For example, even if someone is exceptionally intelligent, if he harbors ill will toward others and acts cruelly, he won't help others at all. So on the basis of wisdom, the quality of compassion is also needed. What kind of compassionate qualities does Buddha have? Buddha's compassion for his disciples exceeds a mother's love for her only child by hundreds and thousands of times. Why do we say this? Whether Buddha was learning the path as a bodhisattva or when he achieved perfect Buddhahood, he never hesitated to give up his body and life to benefit beings. Someone might wonder, how did Buddha give up his body and life to benefit beings when he was on the path in the past? At Sarnath in India, where Buddha first turned the wheel of dharma to bring benefit and happiness to beings, he offered his head hundreds of thousands of times. This is what Buddha himself said. Actually, Buddha didn't just give this way at Sarnath. In other places in Jambudvipa, and even in many places beyond Jambudvipa, to benefit beings, he also gave away his body and life countless times. Moreover, Buddha's compassion has no partiality. If Buddha only protected his closest people and those who liked and respected him while being indifferent to others, such compassion would be unequal. But Buddha's compassion isn't like this. What is Buddha's compassion really like? When Buddha was in the world, if Indra was respectfully bathing him with sandalwood water on the right side, while Devadatta was maliciously cutting him with a sharp blade on the left side, Buddha's compassion for both of them had no difference whatsoever. He would place both of them on the path of supreme happiness. If Buddha's compassion was only given to those of noble caste and perfect wealth, while not given to pitiful and helpless lower class beings, that would be narrow. But this isn't the case. Compared to high-ranking people, Buddha has even more compassion for lower class pitiful beings. Buddha's compassion is absolutely not as narrow as some politicians today. What are they like? If they see thousands of people coming who would be very beneficial to them, they act very kind and enthusiastic, but they won't sincerely help one or two pitiful people. But Buddha, even for one pitiful being, has given his flesh and blood countless times without any reluctance. Buddha could practice such austerities for billions of years without any weariness. This kind of compassion is supreme. It's precisely because of this that in the past, when Buddha was reborn in hell as Kabasheda, he had a companion called Gamarepa. The hell guards put a cart harness around both their necks, made them pull it and beat them with weapons. At that time, Kabasheda thought, rather than both of us suffering, it's better for me alone to suffer. So he said to the guards, "Sir, please listen to me. I am willing to take on my companion's karma. Put all the cart ropes around my neck and let me pull alone. Please let my friend have happiness. When the guards heard this, they became furious and said, "All beings in hell must experience their own karma. Who can take it on for someone else?" Then he picked up an iron hammer and struck Kabasheda hard on the head. Kabasheda was killed and immediately reborn in Trayastrimsha heaven. This is recorded in Buddha's biography. Moreover, Devadatta, who constantly competed with and opposed Buddha, had been specifically harming Buddha throughout countless past lives, not to mention in this lifetime. Yet for the sake of Devadatta, Buddha was also willing to sacrifice his life to benefit him. So Buddha's compassion for sentient beings is truly beyond words. Although Buddha possesses such wisdom and compassion, he also needs to have the quality of power. Otherwise, wisdom and compassion alone are not enough. It's like a mother without arms who watches helplessly as her son is swept away by water. Although she has unimaginable love for her son, she cannot rescue him from the water. Similarly, without ability, merely having compassion for all sentient beings is useless. But in reality, Buddha does have this ability. So what kind of ability does Buddha have? He has the power of body qualities, speech qualities, and mind qualities. What is Buddha's power of body qualities? Simply by seeing Buddha's body with one's own eyes, one can escape the suffering of samsara in the three realms and enter the path of liberation leading to ultimate peace. Someone might ask, seeing Buddha in person has such qualities, but now that Buddha is no longer here, can we still obtain such benefits? Of course we can. How? Just as Buddha himself said, manifesting various forms to lead beings to practice virtue, Buddha manifests in various different bodily forms to benefit sentient beings. Taking statues as an example, whether they are golden, clay, wooden, or stone images of Buddha, making prostrations, offerings, and aspirations to them is no different from worshipping Buddha's actual body. This principle is also explained in the sutras. Speaking of paintings, regardless of whether Buddha images are painted beautifully or not, anyone who sees them will obtain inconceivable benefits. Regarding Buddha's physical form, if one looks upon it with faith and reverence, there are undoubtedly merits. Even if one looks with anger, one can still attain Buddhahood in the near future. This is described in detail in the scriptures. Buddha's power of speech qualities means that when Buddha was in the world, one could personally hear Buddha's teachings, or now through wholehearted prayer. One can also see Buddha in experiences or dreams and hear Buddha teaching the dharma. These are all excellent qualities that can quickly lead to attaining Buddhahood. Not only the dharma that Buddha personally taught, but even now the Buddhist teachings that exist in written form, that even you, if you can hear them with your own ears, there are inconceivable merits. They will definitely block the doors to lower realms and bring benefits like longevity, freedom from illness, and perfect resources. Even those who don't have the fortune to hear the Dharma like we do, as well as birds and beasts, if they can hear the drum sounds and conch sounds that announce teaching times, can also escape the suffering of samsara in the near future. What is Buddha's power of mind qualities? Buddha's activities of great compassion benefit sentient beings at all times and places. Just as waves never separate from the ocean, Buddha can never have a time when he doesn't benefit sentient beings. In the manifested pure lands of the 10 directions, for beings who should be liberated through Buddha's form, he manifests as a Buddha to guide them. For beings who should be liberated through a bodhisattva's form, he manifests as a bodhisattva to guide them. For beings who should be liberated through the forms of Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, he manifests as Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas to guide them. Furthermore, for non-human beings, Buddha manifests as birds before birds, as wild animals before wild animals, as fish before fish. In short, Buddha manifests many forms to guide sentient beings. Not only this, but Buddha also manifests as mountains, rivers, gardens, and forests to expand the Dharma, bringing immeasurable benefits to sentient beings. Therefore, Buddha constantly benefits each and every sentient being through various skillful means during the 6 periods of day and night. It's impossible for him not to benefit sentient beings. Now let me restate what was explained above. If Buddha didn't know the methods to bring happiness and benefit to all sentient beings, then loving Buddha would be meaningless. But this is not the case. Buddha possesses the wisdom that knows all phenomena. Although Buddha is omniscient, without compassion he wouldn't show the path of liberation to his disciples. But Buddha possesses boundless great compassion. Although Buddha has wisdom and compassion, if he lacked the ability to guide sentient beings, he couldn't accomplish their benefit, but Buddha possesses unobstructed ability. Such incomparable qualities of wisdom, compassion, and power are possessed only by Buddha, Aram Salam. No one else in the world can easily have them. So after calming down and carefully observing, unless someone has no heart in their body or no brain in their head, they cannot fail to generate pure faith in Buddha. Devoted faith means generating excellent conviction in the wonderful Dharma spoken by Buddha, wanting to practice it accordingly. Someone might ask, then how should one practice the Dharma that Buddha taught? One must practice all virtuous actions and abandon all non-virtuous actions. What are virtuous actions? Having intentions that cause no harm or distress to any sentient beings and cultivating compassion, this is virtuous action. What are non-virtuous actions? Harboring harmful intentions toward any beings, whether high, middle, or low, and acting roughly, this is called non-virtuous action. Regarding the principle of not harming sentient beings, Buddha proclaimed the 4 dharmas of a Shramana. They are called the 4 dharmas of a Shramana because Buddha's followers are all called Shramanas, and there are 4 types of practices they uphold. First, when others are angry, do not return anger. However others get angry at me, I will not be angry at them in return. Second, when others scold, do not scold back. However others abuse me, I will not retaliate with harsh words. Third, when others strike, do not strike back. When others hit me with stones, sticks, weapons, etc., if I am a follower of Buddha, I should not hit back. Fourth, when faults are sought, do not retaliate. When others speak badly of my parents, say I am ugly or poor, call me a thief and deceiver. No matter how they expose my faults, I cannot turn around and criticize them in return. This is what the Dharma calls taking losses and defeats upon oneself, offering benefits and victories to others, giving all good things and victories to others, keeping all losses and failures for oneself. If one can practice such 4 dharmas of a Shramana, one can be called a first-class Buddhist. Otherwise, merely holding the appearance of a Buddhist and verbally claiming to be a follower of Buddha, yet being unable to practice any of the 4 dharmas of a Shramana makes one only a nominal Buddhist, not a true follower. So how does one practice the 4 dharmas of a Shramana? Generally speaking, when others harm us, how could ordinary people possibly not hold grudges, especially when you've cared for someone like a son, and despite having done nothing wrong, you're falsely accused by him. But even so, you cannot hate him. For example, when a mother's son goes insane, no matter how much he harms his mother, the mother will never get angry at him. She will only think, when will my son recover? Similarly, when someone you've helped turns around and harms you, you should think, when will he be free from such afflictions? You should cultivate compassion in this way. If you have harmed the other person before, it's quite normal for him to retaliate against you. How can you be angry at him? But even if you haven't committed even a needle tip's worth of wrongdoing and he wants to cut off your head, you still shouldn't get angry. Instead, you should visualize May all his negative karma and suffering ripen upon me. You should generate such virtuous thoughts. Furthermore, if someone exposes your faults, you cannot get angry either. Even if his harsh words and accusations against you spread to many countries, you should happily proclaim his virtues. Also, if someone superior to you bullies you in every way, this is normal. But if someone far inferior to you insults you, not only should you not harbor resentment toward him, you should respectfully accept it. This is also the principle of Buddhism. Therefore, Buddha's true dharma is absolutely the marvelous path of harmless peace that brings no distress and exclusively benefits others. Some might think Buddha's dharma is indeed very good, but very few can truly practice it, so there is no way to actually cultivate it. Actually, there is a way. Of course, if we demanded this from the beginning, not only you who have just entered Buddhism, but even Tibetan monks like me and even teachers might not be able to truly accomplish it. So we must act within our capacity and study this dharma taught by Buddha step by step. Like some highly respected teachers in our Tibetan regions, even if they had to sacrifice their lives, they would never kill or steal. But for you, it might be very difficult to never again kill a single sentient being or steal from any sentient being starting from now. Even so, you should still try to study step by step and strive not to do things that harm sentient beings. Buddha once said, "One who harms other beings is not a shramana. If one harbors harmful intentions toward others and acts roughly, then one is not a follower of Buddha." This is what Buddha said definitively. Buddha also said, "Purify your own mind, do not disturb others' minds." This is Buddhism. We should carefully guard our own minds and not disturb others' minds, doing this to the best of our ability. So how do we guard our own minds? When evil thoughts that don't accord with dharma arise, that of the lust, whether serious anger, great attachment, jealousy toward others, or arrogant pride, we should immediately recognize that it's arising, then immediately cut off its continuity and maintain our minds with mindfulness and awareness. At the same time, earnestly pray for the Guru and Three Jewels' blessings so that we won't generate such evil thoughts again in the future. How do we not disturb others' minds? Our bodily misconduct, harsh speech, and mental ill will all disturb others' minds. If such evil conduct appears, it's best to eliminate it from the root. If we can't accomplish this, we should also alert ourselves, thinking, although I am a follower of Buddha, I am still engaging in behavior that disturbs others. I cannot continue like this from now on. We should make firm vows while earnestly praying to the Three Jewels. Someone might ask, what's the necessity of not disturbing others and guarding one's own mind like this? In this life, you'll gain longevity, freedom from illness, abundant resources, beautiful appearance, respect from others, and many such merits. In future lives, you'll also be reborn in pure lands like Sukhavati, attain Buddhahood, and obtain perfect bliss free from all suffering. In summary, if one person practices this wonderful dharma that Buddha taught, he himself will be free from suffering and gain happiness. If a family practices it, the whole family will have happiness. If people in a city practice it, the entire city will gain temporary and ultimate benefit and joy. If people in a country practice it, the entire country will have peace and prosperity. If people throughout the world practice it, the entire world will become beautiful, manifesting peaceful auspiciousness with no suffering beings, everyone happy, every family blissful. As long as they are sentient beings, everyone likes happiness and dislikes suffering. No one wants to lose happiness or experience suffering. The method for making all sentient beings free from suffering and gain happiness has only been taught by Buddha. As mentioned before, if one thinks deeply and observes carefully, Unless someone has no heart in their body or no brain in their head, no one would be uninterested in the Dharma. Having already thought deeply and observed carefully, if there are still people who don't believe in Buddha's teachings, we Tibetans would call such people heartless and brainless. This doesn't mean they literally have no heart in their body or no brain in their head. In the view of Buddha's followers, that lump of flesh that is the heart in the body isn't particularly precious, and the brain, that yogurt-like messy brain matter, isn't worth valuing either. Someone who has correct view is called having heart and brain. If you also want to have heart and brain, you must correctly understand the Dharma you cultivate. Otherwise, only knowing how to sleep, walk, dress, and eat, no one would call such a person someone with heart and brain. In summary, this is the devoted faith arising in relation to the Dharma jewel. The Sangha jewel consists of Buddha's followers whose sole purpose is to diligently benefit themselves and others. Buddha's followers are divided into three types. In terms of Jambudvipa, Hinayana monastics do not harm sentient beings. Mahayana monastics not only don't harm sentient beings, but also benefit them. Those who benefit beings extensively without needing effort and swiftly accomplish beings' benefit are the Vajrayana monastics. If one recognizes that these three types of monastics are all beneficial to sentient beings, no one would distrust them. For example, if you have a friend who appreciates and respects you to your face and also praises and benefits you behind your back, such a friend is definitely trustworthy. But some friends praise you on the surface while speaking badly of you behind your back and causing you various harms. No one would trust such friends. Similarly, generating faith in the Sangha jewel follows the same principle. Above, I have briefly explained the qualities of the three jewels. Do you now like the three jewels? Those who like them, please raise your hands so I can see how many there are. Yeah. Those who don't like the three jewels, also raise your hands. Very good. It seems everyone likes the three jewels. From now on, throughout all your lives, you should pray to the perfect teacher Buddha. Practice the harmless, wonderful Dharma. Constantly associate with Sangha companions who actually practice the Dharma, and vow in your hearts to practice the Dharma. With such vows, please place your palms together at your hearts and repeat after me 3 times.
Lama la gyapsu chiwo.
Sangye la gyapsum chogo.
Sangye la gyapsu chiwo.
Shula gyapsum chogo.
Chula gyapsu chiwo.
Gendan la gyapsum chogo.
Genden la gyapsu chiwo.
Lama la gyapsum chogo.
Lama la gyapsu chiwo.
Sangye la gyapsum chogo.
Sangye la gyapsu chiwo.
Shula gyapsum chogo.
Chula gyapsu chiwo.
Gendan la gyapsum chogo.
Genden la gyapsu chiwo.
Lama la gyapsum chogo.
Lama la gyapsu chiwo.
Sangye la gyapsum chogo.
Sangye la gyapsu chiwo.
Shula gyapsum chogo.
Chula gyapsu chiwo.
Gendan la gyapsum chogo.
Genden la gyapsu chiwo.
Now everyone has obtained the refuge vows. From today onward, you are true Buddhist. From this moment on, whatever worldly or transcendent activities you engage in will dispel obstacles and fulfill your wishes. When you encounter various harms caused by humans, non-humans, spirits, or hostile forces, you will also receive the compassionate protection of the 3 jewels. If you can consistently maintain your commitment to the 3 jewels without abandoning them, not only will you have happiness in this life, but in future lives you won't be reborn in the hell, hungry, ghost, animal, or other lower realms. So if you can maintain the vows you just made without change, obtaining this human body will have been meaningful. Most of you here are Canadian locals and some are Americans. In your entire lives, there probably hasn't been a moment of such great benefit as today. Why do I say this? Because in your daily lives, except for Saturdays and Sundays, you're usually busy working for food, clothing, reputation, and money. Actually, given your level of effort in this lifetime, it seems that even obtaining wealth like America's richest person, Rockefeller, shouldn't be a big problem. However, the reality is that the wealth, food, clothing, and fame you've obtained is just so-so, without any special achievements. So what meaning did a lifetime of effort have? Compared to the results of a lifetime's effort, you've achieved the greatest accomplishment of your lives today. Most people here were already Buddhists before, and some became Buddhists only today. In any case, if you've generated irreversible faith in the Dharma, then my coming to this place has been meaningful, and in my view, your participation in this Dharma gathering is good karma. Next, let me speak about the trainings of refuge. From now on, after taking refuge in Buddha, don't forget to pray to Buddha regularly. After taking refuge in Dharma, try your best not to harm sentient beings. After taking refuge in Sangha, try to generate faith and respect toward all of Buddha's followers. If you can do this, what you wish for in your hearts will be fulfilled. Above, I've explained how to generate faith in the 3 jewels. I hope everyone gains great benefit from this. My eloquence isn't very good and my voice isn't pleasant. You might not like it much, but the core content I've spoken consists of excellent words of Dharma that benefit you in this life and future lives. So I hope you'll contemplate them with your hearts. Today's teaching ends here. There are arrangements for tomorrow and the day after. You can choose to attend as you wish.
Om